Hello, happy Friday, college prep students. Okay, so this video was primarily for my cohort A students. So if you're a cohort B and you find yourself watching this, you can stop. All you need to do today is work on your book project, okay? So keep reading your book and keep working on the actual project itself, okay? Those projects are due on October 8th. That is the end of term 1. And that is less than a month away already, which is crazy, but it's true. So make sure you're working on that today. That's what you need to do. And then just make sure that your peer-edited essay gets turned in as well. But for my cohort A students, let me talk you through that revision process so you know what you're doing today. So obviously, since we missed you on Monday, we're going to make up for that today. So what you guys are going to do today is revise each other's papers through a peer editing process. So first things first, as always, take us to our Canvas calendar. And if we scroll down to today's date, so that is Friday, September 11th, we're going to click right here, and I have all of this beautiful information for you. So I am going to read it. So it says, complete your peer edit, share your document with your partner, and then use this checklist to review their essay. So before I even go any further, the first thing that you need to do today is share your first draft of your college application essay with your partner. If you forgot who your partner is, I put it right down here for you. So Ellie is with Jade, Jared is with Avery, Ava's with Herschel, Morgan is with Bree, and then we had the triangle trade where Nico would edit John's essay, John would edit Kyle's, and Kyle's would edit Nico's triangle, like that. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to do is share your document with your partner. Then, once you've done that, you can come back up here and click on that checklist. So if I click it, it will open it up for me, and you can see it too. And this is all the directions you need for your peer editing checklist. So if you are an author, right, that is what your partner, that's where they'll put your name. So if you are reading someone else's essay, you need to write the name of the person whose essay you're grading. So Avery and Jarrett, you're the first group that came to mind. If I'm Avery, I need to write Jarrett's name here because that's whose paper I'm grading. And then I would write Avery over here. Okay, so if you're an editor, right, you're the one going through the checklist for your partner, you're going to answer each question on this sheet and then elaborate when you need to. You can make marks directly in the essay with comments and highlights, and you should, right? To answer like yes or no for a certain question, you can embolden your answer or you can highlight it like I've done for you here, okay? You will turn this sheet in, but I'll talk about that in just a second. If you're an author, your job, once you get this back from your partner, is to start making changes to your essay, right? There's no point in even making revisions if you're not going to make the revisions. So your partner's going to take the time to go through and look at this essay and edit it for you, but it's your job to go back and make the changes you need so that it is looking like a very fine essay. So first up here is language. So this says read through the entire essay and highlight or comment on anything that sounds awkward, unprofessional, it doesn't fit, it doesn't flow very well, or maybe it just needs more attention, right? So if you ever come upon something in the essay like that, all you need to do is highlight that section in yellow, okay? That's all you got to do. Then you make a comment, and if you don't know how to do that, a shortcut is to highlight something. You can click the little comment button on the right-hand side, or you can hit Control-Alt-M, and that'll create a comment for you as well, okay? So if you found something that maybe just didn't sound right, you would write Lang edit in the comments, right? And then your partner knows, okay, they thought that this didn't sound quite right. I need to go back and fix it, okay? Part 2 deals with your introduction, or your partner's introduction. So does the essay begin with a statement that anchors your essay? In other words, is there a hook, right? Are you instantly engaged when you start reading your partner's essay, right? Embolden or highlight, yes or no, okay? If you notice that the answer might be a no, do not feel bad about saying no, right? Now's the time to tell this person, okay? It's not like you're writing no and you suck and you're never going to be a good writer, right? We're here to build each other up. This is everybody's first draft of their essays. They're all going to suck, okay? We're going to work together to make them better, okay? So do not feel bad about saying no to something. Is the exposition introduced, right? Did they explain the who, what, where, when, right? Do you know where they are? Do you know what they're talking about? Or did they kind of forget and jump right into the story without setting up that exposition for us? Yes or no? If it's missing, right? Tell us what information is missing, right? If you know that they told us where we were, but I didn't know where and I didn't know how old they were when this experience happened, you need to write about it in the missing info section, okay? Is the inciting incident introduced? So that event that moves the story forward, yes or no? What is the incident, right? You don't have to write it word for word. If that's easy for you, right? If you want to copy and paste it from the essay into here, great. If you know that you would just rather write it in your own words, that's fine too. Does the paragraph introduce the question from the prompt the author is answering, yes or no? Double check for language, right? That's the same thing as part 1, but you want to make sure you're doing that in all paragraphs, right? So again, if something's just not sounding right, highlight it in yellow and write edit in the comments. Which brings us to our body paragraphs. Are the rising action parts being mentioned? Yes or no? If yes, list them here, right? And they might not have a third one, and that's okay. Are all of the rising action pieces necessary? If you find something that you feel really didn't need to be included, highlight it in red, right? That tells them, that one probably could have been left out. Is the climax provided? Is there a turning point or moment in which the writer decided to change or make a choice? Yes or no? And then again, just remember to always look for language. Which brings us to part 4, conclusion. Are there falling action pieces in which the tension or conflict the writer was experiencing decreases? Yes or no? Is there a need for a smaller conflict to be introduced? Yes or no? Right? Where you kind of feel like something got left unsaid and you might want them to revisit that. Is there a resolution? Is there a logical end to the story? Yes or no? Was the question that the prompt was asking answered? This one is super important, right? Did they actually answer the question that the prompt wanted them to answer, right? And if you're thinking to yourself, I have no idea what the question was that they were answering, circle no and then tell them that, right? By the time you get to the end, say, hey, I wasn't quite sure what prompt you were answering. You might want to go back and make that more clear, right? Better to do it now than say keep it to ourselves and turn in a not so great essay later. Part 5 says, okay, look for those rhetorical devices. Everybody turned in excellent examples today. So you should be seeing those examples in their essays, right? Look for them. If you can't remember what they are, right? If you're like, I think I found one, but I'm not sure, take out the packet I gave you on Wednesday and go through it and be like, I think that's a metaphor. I'm pretty sure I see two things being compared, and that way you can double check. And if you're unsure, feel free to shoot me an email. I can kind of push you in the right direction and we can look for them together. Then there's just the formatting checklist, which just says, hey, is this essay written in Times New Roman font? Is it size 12? Yes or no? Is this essay double spaced? Yes or no? Are the paragraphs indented? Yes. Is there an MLA heading in the upper left-hand corner? Yes or no? And I put an example here for you if you forget what that is. And then my favorite part here is, what are 3 things this author did particularly well, right? Give credit where credit's due. Tell your partner what they're doing well, right? And they are doing things well. You all are, right? This isn't the best draft of our essay, but that doesn't mean it's all bad, okay? So share the parts or the moments where you're like, this line was really great. I really like the way you did this. Everybody deserves a little bit of praise. And then at the end, I ask, from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the essay was 2 sentences long, was about oranges, to 10 being the essay was a literary masterpiece, what would you rate this essay? And you can highlight the number that you choose, okay? Any other additional comments you have, you can put down here. And that is the checklist. The other thing I've linked in our agenda today was a PowerPoint for you, which looks wrong one, like this. It goes through the art of revision, right? Just to hit the point home that all authors revise, right? You can listen to John Green rant about revising for a few minutes if you would like. J.K. Rowling goes through a revisions process. F. Scott Fitzgerald, the author of The Great Gatsby, went through a revisions process. Hemingway went through a revisions process, right? Everybody has to do it, right? Even if it hurts to say, like, man, I don't like going through and finding all the things I did wrong. You have to do it, right? The first draft is always the worst draft, and it doesn't get better until we revise and make some changes. So if you click through, I talk about why we revise. It makes you a better writer. It makes you better at analyzing things, and it makes you a better reader too, right? It's good to recognize your own weaknesses in your writing because then you can anticipate making them in the future, and you can kind of stop yourself, and that's a good thing. Then I just talk about the process, right? So there's large-scale revision, which is basically what we're going to be doing for each other. Small-scale revision, editing, and proofreading, okay? So if I went through this too fast for you, you have access to this. You can take the time and read through it as slow or as quickly as you'd like. The last thing I put in here were those formatting tips. So for me, I am asking that you include an MLA heading and a title and indent your paragraphs because it's just easier for me to read. I'm going to grade like 30 of these, so I want it to be easy to read. But just a reminder that if you are going to use this for your college application essay, you need to make sure that you adhere to their formatting tips, and I've listed them all here for you. I'd say regardless, nobody should be going over 650 words, okay? Just something to think about. All right, couple of things and then this video will be over. When you have finished your checklist, send that finished checklist to your partner. Remember, it is okay for your essay to suck. Revising only helps to make it better. So this is what you will submit in Canvas. The copy of your essay that is marked up by your partner and the checklist that your partner completed for your essay that they shared back with you, okay? So you will copy and paste that entire checklist at the bottom of your essay doc, okay? Some people were like, well, isn't that gonna be kind of long? That's fine, right? I can scroll, it's not a big deal, okay? But that's what I want, is to see your essay marked up with all the different comments, next page, the finished checklist that your partner did for your essay. Okay, so you'll get points for having a revised essay and for doing the revisions for somebody else. That's what I want. And then, of course, if you're confused, you can watch this video and hopefully that'll clear some things up for you. Okay. All right, I think that is all I needed to talk about. Really big points: share your essay with your partner, right? Revise your partner's essay, okay? Complete the checklist. I recommend doing a split screen, have the essay here and the checklist right here, so as you read, you can go through both together. When you're done with the checklist, send it to your partner, and your partner will submit it to Canvas. So you are responsible for submitting your essay with the comments in it and the checklist completed by your partner for your essay. There you go. All right, if anything was confusing, feel free to shoot me an email or a Canvas message. I'll be available all day. We can set up a Google Meet if you want. You just gotta let me know, and I'll be available to you guys, okay? Happy editing, and let me know if you need anything. And I will see some of you on Monday and some of you on Tuesday. But have a wonderful weekend, everybody.